Hey guys, I hope you've been working at home. Remember that every day that we see each other, you have to be copying in your notebook all the questions that I've been giving. I am not gonna write them anywhere. You are mature enough and we have been together long enough to know how my class works. So I hope that you've been copying the questions in your notebook and that you are going back to the video every time you have a doubt. Go back to the video, go back to the video every time you have a question so you can clarify yourself in what you're hearing. If you have any question, you can ask me in the platform in the questions, not in WhatsApp. And remember that if you really have to send me a text, you should do it from 7:45 to 2:25, not on the weekends, not at midnight, not at 9, not at 10, not at 1 in the morning. Just making sure that we are all working together in the best form. Okay, so the last time we were talking about seasons and how seasons work. Actually, I think that I gave you so far 8 questions. Keep forgetting, I'm sorry. I hope these are the last questions that I will give you so we can finish reading the story. Okay, so page 70, the changing moon. We can see in there planet Earth and then 4 phases of the moon, and we'll talk a little about it. Have you ever sorry, again. Have you ever noticed that the moon seems to change shape? One night it may look like a forced circle. Another night it seems to be a thin crescent. Sometimes it may look like a half circle. Sorry, I'm making so many mistakes. So in here it's telling you, one night it may look like a full circle. It's this one over here. And then another night it seems to be a thin crescent. This one, it's a small crescent. Sometimes it may look like a half circle. This one over here, see, small. And then, however, the moon does not actually change shape. It looks different as its position in relation to the sun and earth changes. The moon does not make its own light. It reflects light from the sun. As Earth and the moon move in their orbits, the amount of light in the moon varies. So, the same thing that happens with planet Earth when we're making the revolution in the axis and that produces day and night, same thing happens to the moon. The moon is a satellite. It's a natural satellite. So let's try to imagine. This is planet Earth, this is the sun, and this is the moon. Now, because we go around in circles, in revolutions around the sun, also does the moon. So sometimes the moon doesn't get all this light on it. That's why sometimes it looks kind of like this. Or sometimes it looks kind of like this. Actually, it looks like this. Made a mistake in the last one. See? Because it's a circle, it's a rounded shape, a planet. It gets sun, but only in a part of it. So that's when we see a crescent shape because it's only a part. But it's not that the moon grows and it cuts off. No. What happens is that we're getting less light. So every time that we're moving, maybe we're getting a little more. We're getting a little more, we're getting a little more until we finally get everything. And sometimes the moon is so far from the sun that it's not visible. We don't see it, but it's there. So remember this for the questions. The moon is a natural satellite because it's not in there. Wait. Okay, and then let's continue. Page 70 here. Okay, so we have in here, the changing views of the moon are called phases. When the side of the moon facing Earth is completely in sunlight, you see a full moon. Some nights you do not see the moon in the sky at all. Remember that I was telling you that there's nothing in the sky because there's no light being reflected on it. It doesn't produce any light. And we don't produce any light either. We reflect the light that we're getting from the sun. Even when the sky is cloudless, this happens when the side of the moon facing Earth is not lit by the sun. This phase is called new moon. In between the full moon and the new moon are other phases. It takes about 29 days for the moon to complete its orbit around Earth. A full moon usually occurs only once a month. So only once a month we have a complete moon, a full white circle in the sky. Only once a month. So if we would have to answer what is a moon, you could say that it's a celestial body, that it's a satellite, that it's a natural satellite. You could answer that it's not a small planet, so you could describe it as a celestial body. That would be the most general term. It's a celestial body. Celestial not because in Spanish, celeste would be a color, but not in this case. Celestial would be something related to the sky. Wait. Celestial body. Excuse my handwriting. I know. It's a very uncomfortable position to write in. Wait. See why I prefer cursive? It's because my print, it's so ugly. Better. Okay. So the moon is a celestial body that orbits planet Earth, and it has different phases, and it doesn't produce any light. It reflects the light from the sun. That would be a very good concept. Remember that I want to give you the questions. Okay, let's continue. Page 71. Earth is not the only planet in our solar system. There are 7 other planets and some dwarf planets that orbit the sun. Many of these planets have moons that orbit them too. Smaller objects also orbit the sun. They are called asteroids and comets. Asteroids are pieces of rock. Thousands of asteroids are located between the planets Mars and Jupiter. This area is called the asteroid belt. Comets are fuzzy clouds made of ice, rock, and dust. They look like streaks of light at night. You can sometimes spot a comet because it has a bright tail of light. The tail of a comet always points away from the sun. So we have in there that we don't only have planet Earth and the sun and the moon, but we have a lot more celestial bodies. Celestial bodies are the things that orbit the universe, the galaxy, the solar system, and beyond. So we have different planets. We have asteroids and comets. Asteroids would be rocks. So in all of those apocalyptic movies that you see that an asteroid is going to hit planet Earth, that's what they are. Board is attacking me. The rocks that are, for an example, Lagos and Oseguera are obsessed with dinosaurs. And probably they know that the dinosaurs theory, one of them, says that they were destroyed by an asteroid that hit the Earth. That's my version. I'm pretty sure that I could be incorrect, so correct me if you want. It's okay. So the rock that hit planet Earth back in the time before Jesus' time destroyed everything around it, including the dinosaurs. So this asteroid, yes, this asteroid, it's a rock, it's just a rock. And sometimes what happens is that sometimes because the universe is expanding, sometimes planets or dwarf planets or stars, they encounter each other and they get destroyed. And those little pieces that in reality they're not little, they're humongous, they end up being discarded and they run and they are sent away at a very big speed around the universe. And as you remember, there's no gravity there, so they can fly wherever they want. So these asteroids are rocks, different than the comets. The comets are made out of gases, are made out of ice, are made out of rocks. So these are the pretty ones that you see sometimes in the sky, and they're shiny and sparkly. So they go psh, and they're really pretty. That's the difference between them. An asteroid is a rock, and a comet, it's a mix of rocks, ice, gases that flies around. This is not shiny. This is shiny. Okay, so we have in here. Let's continue reading. 71 still. Billions of stars are in the galaxy. These stars are the twinkling lights you see in the sky at night. They are actually huge balls of very hot gas, like our sun. However, they are extremely far away. Stars give off light that travels really fast. The light from the sun takes about 8 minutes to reach Earth. Light from the nearest star takes about 4 years to reach Earth. Because our sun is much closer than other stars, it looks large and bright. The other stars look small and faint. So we have realized that we orbit around a star. The sun is a very big star, but it's not the biggest. At the end of the topic, I'm going to send you a link for a video in YouTube where you can see the different sizes of every sun and every star and every planet on the universe. And you will see how microscopical we are, basically nothing. Because there are other suns that would destroy our sun just by getting close to it in seconds. 72. Some stars look like they are grouped together to form patterns or pictures. These are called constellations. People in ancient times named the patterns after gods or heroes from myths and stories. Sometimes they were named after animals. Ursa Major, or the Great Bear, is a constellation. One star grouping within the Great Bear is the Big Dipper. It looks like a small pot with a long handle. Ursa Minor, or the Little Bear, has the Little Dipper. It begins at the North Star, also called Polaris. Throughout the ages, sailors have used the stars and constellations to help them find their way on the seas. So as you can see in there, sometimes stars form up constellations and they have different shapes. People say that they look like, sometimes like Pegasus, as those are the horses with the wings but not with the horn. Those are unicorns. Pegasus and Ursa Minor, Ursa Major, Polaris. There are multiple patterns of stars that they follow always the same pattern that are located in specific places, so people can look. In the past, people didn't have GPS or telephones or clocks or people to tell them where they were. So they used to use the stars, the sun, the planets, the sky to guide themselves on where they were before. Page 73. You may have noticed that stars are not always in the same part of the sky. They seem to move around during the year. However, as I told you, they're always in the same place. It's Earth that moves and not the stars. An astronomer named Nicholas Copernicus proposed this idea in the 16th century. Before that time, people thought that the sun and the stars move around the Earth. The next time you look up the sky, think about everything that is happening out in the space. You will realize that the universe is a fascinating place. And we haven't even started with the crazy theories that I told you. So as you can see, an astronomer is the person that studies the sky, the earth, and the planets. The sky, the earth, the stars, and the planets. All right. And you just see like a blank spot, like a darkness at night, but there's so much more beyond that. So let's for the last question. Okay. So I want you to write for me the concept of moon. Remember what is the moon? That is a celestial body. Remember if it produces its own light. What does it do to planet Earth? If it has phases or not. So right in the first question of the last set, describe the moon. Describe the moon. And then you can find some of the answers in here in page 70. Or you can just rewind the video when I told you, when I was describing the moon. The next one that you have to write is make the differences between asteroid and comet. And if you have doubts on how to write them, they're written in here in the book. Go to your book. Be aided by it. So describe the differences between asteroid and comet. Describe the differences between asteroid and comet. What are they made of? What do they do? What do they look like? If they're the same. And then the last question that you will write over there is, what do you think about the universe? Please don't write it's really pretty or it's big or it's interesting. That's a second grade answer. I want you to tell me what do you think about the universe. Please. Next time we will talk a little about the different theories that the universe has and the different theories that you have about the universe. And then hopefully by the end of the week I can send you the video so we can continue working. Remember, don't upload or send me anything that I haven't asked you. Only upload pictures of your notebook when I ask you to. If you don't do it, the platform won't be able to process them and show them to me because I need them on the specific dates. In a specific order, questions written in cursive with a pen, answers written in pencil in print. Remember, question in pen in cursive, answer in pencil in print. Okay? So if you have any doubt, just rewind the whole video and start again. That's my advice. Watch it as many times as is necessary. And I hope that I can see you tomorrow. See you guys.